Our debt's with the United States government. It ain't with random white guy, random white woman. My beef is not with Rob or Buck or you, Susie, or you, whoever white guy that's cool with me, or white woman that's cool with the show, or whatever. You're not, don't do what Byron's doing.
Dr. King said at the tail end of his life, he said, we're going to Washington to get our check. You understand? So now, what is your position on reparations?
Thank you. Great question. Thank you. If we could all be quiet and let them answer. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll be direct. First of all, I'll be direct with you. I'll be. Sorry.
We don't want to hear the Jim Crow stuff.
Listen, I'll be direct with you. I don't believe in reparations. I don't.
Well, then you don't believe in the black community.
That's next.
I will tell you, brother, in the hat with the glasses on, that's not true. What I will tell you is that there's a question if you're going to get into the full economics of reparations right now. Question number one, of all black people in the country, how many of them are actually descendants of slaves? Because you've had a lot of immigration over the last 100 years in America. Of American slavery. There was slavery in the Caribbean. The one brother came up, he said that he's first generation, the brother in the Congo, because his
Yeah. Byron Donalds sound like he is drowning. You got to do a lot of talk, a lot of fast talking. He said he doesn't believe in reparations, and he has 4 reasons. The first reason is, how many black Americans in America actually are qualified as being descendants of slaves? Because we had a lot of immigration. We don't much care about that. Put it this way. If something happened right now in that room, and say the ceiling fell in and people got hurt, right there where they're sitting at. And they're like, okay, so it's going to take time to go through the litigation, what have you. I don't know what the name of the bar is. Let's say it's at Bob's Bar, okay? And that ceiling falls in and some people get hurt. Those people will be eligible for a claim. Guess what? The people that came after the ceiling fell in, the next week after the ceiling's repaired, who weren't there for the ceiling falling in, those people will not be qualified for any type of payment. Only the people that was there when that damn ceiling fell in. So how is this so hard to understand? If you came to America, if your parents came to America, 65, late 60s, after civil rights was pretty much over, what would you get a check for? Who stopped you? Who had you as property? Who called you boy and denied you being able to get a job? And then locked you up and rented you out to the same plantation you was freed from. It don't apply to you, is what I'm saying. But see, that's too simple for him to get. Remember this, guys, those people that were critical, oh, Tim, you just dumping on Byron Donalds. Nah, man, he fast talking. He a little arrogant, and he getting busted up right now. He getting busted up on facts. So he said that's too hard to figure out. Since there's so many people that are black who are not black, who were not, descendants of slaves. He can't figure out that the people that weren't here, whose families were not in this country during the time of slavery through Jim Crow, are not eligible. So what's the problem? Let's keep it going. He says more. He digs a further hole.
His parents came from Jamaica. My grandmother is from Jamaica. So my grandmother's Jamaican. I know exactly what you're talking about. My mother was born in the United States. I'm born in the United States. So this is a fundamental question. You a black man, I'm a black man. Am I eligible for reparations right now? I would say the answer is no, I'm not. Because my family is from Jamaica.
Fine, we get it. We understand that you're not eligible. They ain't got nothing to do with everybody else. You're welcome. You should want the people that made it possible for you and your mama to do so well in this country. The people whose families have been discriminated against historically in this country, that laid the groundwork so that you could come in when we already had rights where you could live in that building. When we already had rights where you could walk down the street. At least prosecute somebody who hits you upside your head and jumps on your back and uses you as a bus. You know what I'm saying? When your woman didn't have control of her own body. When we were considered furniture, a mule of burden, a beast of burden. You understand what I'm saying? How could you, who started with nothing at all, no food stamps, no homeless shelter, nothing, zero, and then locked you up because you didn't have a place to go. Said you were a vagrant because you didn't have a job or home. So they put you in jail for that. So he just said he don't get it, and since he don't qualify for it, he's saying it don't make sense. Let's keep going. It gets worse. This is your brother, though. This is your brother.
Father's Panamanian. His grandparents were born in Panama. My father immigrated to the United States. So does that make me eligible? So you got to go through all of that. That's step one. Step number two, slavery under federal law was ended in 1865. The Jim Crow era ended, obviously, with the 64 Civil Rights Act, the 65 Voting Rights, etc. The fundamental question is, you've now had 3 generations of black people come up in the United States. As a black kid today, does he get reparations? Third question. Hold on now.
Yes, because we're smart enough to understand that we're not just who we are. We're who our parents were. Every person in his life, most people understand that when you start your life off, where your parents started off matters. It matters where your parents started off because those are the resources you will inherit. When you handicap people and make it very difficult for them to create a legacy, to hand their kids, that's tantamount to killing a man. That's tantamount to killing a man. When you take away the ability to truly provide for their family on an even playing field. An even playing field. So yeah. The fact that my kids didn't go through pre-civil rights, that doesn't mean anything. I would have had more to give them, to pass on to my kids, if my parents would have had the ability to make money. The same way white people were. I mean, it's still bad, Joe. It's still bad. I don't want to waste everybody's time going through all the statistics. Let's just say, black men make up 2% of just 2% of male doctors, 2% of male lawyers, and 2% of the tech industry in the management capacity. I mean, come on, Johnson. Like, why do you think those numbers are so low? Because it matters where people start off. It matters the resources they're giving. Of course, there are people who do exceptionally well. There are people that exceed. I'm not talking about people that kill it. I'm talking about we should be able to be as mediocre as white people and still have a nice life. We should be able to have and not be LeBron. We should not have to be Tyler Perry. We should not have to be Spike Lee. What would be nice if everybody was Spike Lee and was able to go make a movie out of a bunch of credit cards. It would be nice if everybody started off with the same family, the same opportunities, but they don't. I get that. But if your family, black people were held back structurally by the government. Let's keep going.
Third question. You got a lot of other people in the United States. Asians, are they responsible for the cost of the slave trade? No, because they're of Asian descent.
It doesn't matter because they live in this country. They're not responsible for what's going on in Ukraine, but we're still paying for it. They're not responsible for what's going on in Israel, but we're still paying for it. They're not responsible for a lot of shit America does, but they're still paying for it. None of us are responsible. None of us have any say in what our government spends our money on. When you look, if you live in a country and the country's doing something, particularly one you immigrated to, if you don't like what they spend your money on, leave. If you don't like what the country spends their money on, you weren't born in this country, or if you were born in this country, or if your parents weren't born in this country, you were in the wrong country. If you have a problem, because the debts of that country are your debts. That's just how it works. Tax the rich, I don't care. Get my money. Back up the Brinks check. Back up the Brinks truck. Because that is a debt that's owed. It's not the Asian person's fault. Damn sure the Native American person's fault, or the Jewish person's fault, or whoever it is who just got here. Native American may be different. But I didn't mean to say that because there's some stuff about y'all. Some Native Americans own slaves. But I don't think any Black Americans own Native Americans. But anyway, my point is this. His argument is garbage. That's why he's saying it very quickly. It's not working. And I think Byron Donalds just did himself a whole lot of harm by running his mouth and thinking people can't think. He's overestimating what a fast tongue will do for you. Not a lot of people tune into Ben Shapiro. Hey, Ben Shapiro is that winning a bunch of popularity contests. Because you got to do more than just sound smart. You got to say something that matters. So that's what the Candace Owens people don't get. That's what the Ben Shapiros don't get. And that's what Byron Donalds seems like he don't understand. It's not just what you can talk, but what are you saying though? See, that's why it matters. That's why we'll listen to somebody who uses broken English, who curses, who drops an N-bomb here or there, whatever, or a lot. Because what they're saying sounds true. It's real. So it's not about how fast you talk. It's not about how articulate you are. It's about, you talk, but what are you saying though? Let's keep going. So he's like, hey, we got Asians. Once again, his argument is we got people that live in America who had nothing to do with the government or nothing to do with our situation. Remember, reparations just ain't about what happened in slavery. It's about Jim Crow too. And that's a government thing. In fact, this is not about the slaveholders. This is about a government that made slavery legal. He don't even understand the argument. Our beef is with the United States government. Our debt is with the United States government. It ain't with random white guy, random white woman. It's not with Buck. It's not with Rob. My beef is not with Rob or Buck or you, Susie, or you, whoever white guy that's cool with me. Or white woman that's cool with the show, or whatever. Don't do what Byron's doing. This ain't about you. If you become an opposition, I got an issue with that. But this ain't about you. This is about my government. Look at me like a person who feels that the government, sort of like how the government gave all those people in West Virginia black lung. It's sort of like cancer roll in Alabama. But there's these lawsuits because the government or the state, in that particular instance, that's the state, got these places where they were dumping all this toxic material and all these people develop cancers early in life. That's still going on. There's litigation about that. Now, if you never lived in Alabama, if you live from another state, you got nothing to do with it. Or even if you live in Alabama, somewhere in Alabama, you got nothing to do with it. That's true. But Alabama owe that money, though. You saying you didn't put it there ain't got nothing to do with it. Alabama owes the money because people are dying. Get it? It's real simple. It's simple. It makes sense. It's the government. It's not you personally. The government owns that. Now, if you're part of the company that dumped that shit, if you Obama, you drinking Flint water to lie to us and pretend the water's okay when you know it's not, that's why you pretended to drink it. That's different. If you the Flint water people that switch the water supply to the dirty water, those people should be held accountable. But if you just live in Flint, you ain't got nothing to do with what the government did to the water supply. Come on, man. So yeah, we got a lot of people get hurt feelings when we talk about this. They talk like we talking about we cutting them out of their check, like we come and get money from them. Nah. U.S. government spent trillions of dollars on space travel, dropping bombs and wars and funding wars. And we got 100 bases in 100 countries or some crazy number. That ain't for free. We pay for that. Shut down about 20 of them bases. We can start a per diem. All right, let's keep going. Byron ain't done digging the hole.
People of Indian descent, people who are Hispanic in the United States, the largest growing population in the United States, and of course the dominant population is still the white population. But even in that, it's not just Southern whites that were plantation owners from their grandfathers. So if you're going to talk about reparations today, what you're talking about is taking money from other Americans, which quite rightly the pain and the toil that did happen in America through slavery, through Jim Crow, but now you're asking Americans today and in the future to pay that bill. Is it that bill? Is it their bill, Americans today, to pay? I'll ask you a slightly different question. It's not reparations. It's about Joe Biden's student loan bailout. And I'm not going off, but it's a comparison point. 2/3 of the American people did not go to college. Is it okay for Joe Biden to say, well, we're going to forgive student loans, even though 2/3 did not go to college? Is it now the debt burden of the 2/3 of the American people that did not go? I will tell you the answer is no. People may not like that, but that's the reality. And
man, this guy, Byron's a moron. Dog. Joe Biden forgiving student debt is not giving anybody any money. Joe Biden forgiving any amount of student debt is not giving anybody any money at all. These people are already paying, dumb. That's it. People that got Pell Grants, all that stuff, those are grants they were giving. They don't pay that back, so what? What, someone's going to come pay for that? No one's going to come pay for that. We should have free college anyway. Should be an expense that the country pays. Why can the country fund bombs but can't fund school? We know the answer, Byron. See, a coward, I can never support a coward. Now you're making an argument, something about student loans, people shouldn't have to pay for other people's student loans. You're just trying to distract us. That ain't got nothing to do with it. Them kids, those people, these whoever it is that took classes, should have been able to take classes in the country, in a country like America, where it's almost mandatory that you get some type of training, something beyond high school. How are we going to compete with China and Russia and all these other countries without a workforce that has education? And why don't you provide the education? The only reason I can come up with it, you like people going to war. You like people signing up to get college by going to war. That's the only thing I can come up with. Or you like people not having college, with the way the cost of living being sky high, the rent being sky high, ended up doing whatever they got to do to make ends meet, and ended up in the prison system. So like that sounds to me like that's okay to y'all. So anyway, let's go. Let's see how I finish this up, y'all. He almost done.
Okay, brother, I want to be respectful of you because I understand the reparations argument. But we are now more than 150 years from the Emancipation Proclamation. We are easily 80 years from the end of the Jim Crow era. Who now? I just addressed it. I said no, and now I'm giving my answer. And here's the thing. So here's what I'm gonna say, and I want to thank you for your service. Because what's coming up in the room is taking you too long to answer. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want Vice President Harris to talk about Venn diagrams and then tell you, yeah, okay, yes? Is that what we're gonna do? Do you want Joe Biden to not even be able to answer your question because he won't get into the details?
Dude, what you're saying doesn't make much sense. You just came with a bunch of flowery words to say, one, you don't think that, you think it'd be too hard to find out who's owed money. That's crazy. It's not too hard to find out. You just answered it. You got grandparents, great-grandparents that lived here? You're probably qualified. You said something about if you, what did he say? Something about Asian. Oh, you said something about, well, people shouldn't have to pay for it because they don't got nothing to do with it. Yeah, I say the same thing all the time when I think about all the bombs we drop in all these countries. Guess what? Don't nobody care. Nobody care what you think the government should pay for. Because you aren't paying for it, the government is. They got to come up with it. They can fix it. They can do something about it. Hell. Give me some land. I'm good on the land part. Give me some land. We come up with something. We can do it. We know we can come up with a payment plan. Black people not harsh like that. We'll come up with something. Work it out. Like to do with the lottery hit. When you hit the lottery, they're like, hey, you want the whole lump sum or you want monthly payments or how you want to do it? I'll take the monthly payment plus some land, something like that. No taxes for 50 years. I'll work it out with you. I don't want to be a pain in the ass, man. I want to be better to you than you were to me. United States government. United States government. Say what you want to say, but America never made it hard for a white man to make $1. Not intentionally. They never said, hey, you can't make $1, white man. White man, you can't live here, white man. Because you're white. The man said you can't live there because of the cost, but they never said you couldn't live there because you was white. That's different. So that's what we're talking about. And I'm going to leave Byron. I'm going to let Byron go now, guys. Look, basically deflecting and saying stuff we heard everyone say that we've always heard. because they don't care. He has no skin in the game because he just told you he wouldn't get a check. He outed himself. Why is it most people who disagree with this are people that wouldn't get a check? People that would not get, who do not qualify. No shit. I get it. You know, like, if you want one of the people in the room when the ceiling fell in, maybe you don't care to hear about the people that the ceiling did fall on. Then remember, the ceiling didn't fall. It was dropped on purpose on us. So I don't know, just think about that and think about what you think is right. But all my Byron Donalds fans, I want you to do me a favor and check with your own heart and figure out why you are Byron Donalds fans.